Let's do the Mangalacharna. Akhil Rasamrit Murti Prasramara Ruchiruddhataraka Pali Kalitashyama Lalito Radha Preyam Vidhut Jayati. Welcome to the class. So we have discussed till shloka number 9.
Yeah. Parachi, I have a question.
Okay, yes.
I was reading the English language translation, and it says first wave, second wave, third wave, and fourth wave.
Yeah.
Then there is another book which says eastern wave, western wave, and so on.
See,
So,
this Rupa Goswami has written the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu because he has named it the Sindhu, the ocean. So he has named the different sections of this book with the terminology of the ocean. So ocean can be divided into 4 sections: the eastern part, western part, and all these parts. So he has divided this book into 4 parts. He has named the first part as the eastern part, second as the south, third as the west, and the fourth as the north. Okay, it means these are 4 parts of the book. So we are right now in the first part, means the eastern wave, eastern section of the book. And in each section, there are different chapters. Each chapter is named wave, Lahari. So because it is the ocean, so that terminology is using. So essentially, it is a chapter, but it is called Lahari. It is called wave.
okay.
So this is the second wave. It's the second chapter of the eastern division of the first division of this text. Okay. So yeah, because it is ocean. So we have discussed till the 9th verse of the second chapter of the first part of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Rupa Goswami. So we are discussing the topic of Vaidhi Bhakti. Bhakti in the stage of practice, which is of the nature of Vaidhi. It proceeds only because of the instruction of the Shastra. So Gopalji in the previous class had asked a question that because this bhakti proceeds, because one engages in bhakti only because of the instruction of the Shastra, then how is bhakti independent of our endeavor? So, bhakti is independent of our endeavor because our endeavor is happening because of bhakti. Because we have come in the association of great devotees, and because we listen from them, we have shraddha on them. We have faith that these shastras are correct. These shastras give us the right path by which we can attain perfection. Because of this faith in the shastra, which the faith which we have attained by the blessing of the great devotees. So now we have faith in the Shastras and we are following the Shastras, and because the Shastras say that you have to serve Krishna, you have to engage in his devotional worship. That's why we do so, and that's why our bhakti will be classified as Vaidhi Bhakti. But it is not, our endeavor is not independent of the blessing of bhakti. It's not independent of the blessing of the devotees. Therefore, bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya, bhakti gives rise to more bhakti. Bhakti does not proceed from our intellectual conviction based on the Shastra. We have intellectual conviction on Shastra because we have faith in the Shastra. And we have faith in the Shastra not because our intellect permits us to do so. We have faith in the Shastra because of the blessing of the great devotees in the form of their instructions and their discourses, which we have heard. So that is the point. If intellect alone was the cause of your engagement in bhakti, then each and every human being who hears about Krishna Bhakti would be engaging in the activities of Krishna Bhakti. Intellectual conviction, if that alone is the cause, then every human being who is intellectually convinced by the arguments of the Shastra would take up bhakti, but that is not the case. You need to have Shraddha in the Shastras. And then when you are intellectually convinced, then you will take up bhakti. Without Shraddha, without faith, bhakti does not take place. And that faith comes because of the blessings of devotees. Okay, so let's continue. Yatha ekadashe tu vyaktam eva uktam. It is very clearly said in the 11th skanda of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11.5, shlokas 2 and 3. मुखबाहुरुपादेभ्यः पुरुषस्याश्रमैः सह चत्वारो जज्ञिरे वर्णा गुणैर्विप्रादयः पृथक्. From the Purusha, from the great Vishnu, Mahavishnu, from his different parts of his body took birth different varnas. So, by their qualities, these varnas came to be known. So, Brahmanas were born from the mouth of the Purusha, Kshatriyas were born from his arms, Vaishyas were born from his thighs, and the Shudras were born from his feet. And correspondingly, they have respective qualities, corresponding qualities. So, ya esham purusham sakshadatma prabhavam ishwaram na bhajantyavajananti sthanat bhrashtah patantyadha. Okay. The particular varna, the person who does not acknowledge the Purusha who is one's own source and thus does not worship him, does not serve him, he actually disrespects him and thus he falls down from his position. The people, those people who do not worship him, who is the cause of themselves, they fall down from their varna positions and ashrama positions. So this shows that one who does not worship Vishnu falls down from his position. So this is an instruction that you should worship Vishnu, who is your own source. Jiva Goswami does not comment on these two shlokas. Vishwanath Chakravarti comments, तथा अत्र भजनीयस्य भगवतः अभजने दुर्गतिरेव इति वक्तुं प्रथमं भजनीयत्वे युक्तिमाह मुखेति. So in the earlier verse, there was a description that if you do not think of Vishnu every day, then you will incur sin on yourself, papa. So he is supporting that with further quotations from the Shastra, that when one does not worship Bhagavan who is ought to be worshipped, who is ought to be served, he has to be served by all human beings. If one does not serve him, then one surely attains a unfavorable result, durgati. Okay, he attains a bad result in his life. That's what is said in these two shlokas. But first, why is Bhagavan ought to be worshipped by human beings? The reason, the logic is given in this in the first verse. Because the varnas have emanated from the mouth, from the body of Shri Vishnu. Gunai sattvadibih karanai ashramai saha vipradayas chattvaro jashire. The four varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, along with ashramas, four ashramas, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. And along with the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, the gunas, The Varnas, Ashramas, and the three gunas, they have emanated from Vishnu himself, the Purusha. So, among these Varnas and Ashramas, those Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and whoever, okay, those who do not worship their own source, their master, from whom they have been born, okay, Ata eva avajananti. So, by not worshipping Bhagavan Vishnu, who is their own source of birth, they disrespect him. So, they may not disrespect Vishnu by criticizing him. They may not disrespect Vishnu by insulting him or doing something bad for him. Just by not worshipping Vishnu, they show their disrespect to Vishnu. So whatever ashramas and varnas are there, if they are not engaged, if a Brahmana is not worshipping Vishnu, if a Kshatriya is not worshipping Vishnu, if a Vaishya or Shudra does not worship Vishnu, if a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha or Sannyasi does not worship Vishnu, then by their not worshipping Vishnu, they are expressing their disrespect for Vishnu. Okay. Abhajanat eva avachyam kurvanti. Just as yatha paramadarniyasya purushasya adara karanam eva anadara. Just as if a person is very highly respectable, if a very highly respectable person has come to your house, you just do not respect him. All you do is that you just don't show any respect to him. You don't insult him. You don't speak bad to him. But you also do not respect him. Then the act of not respecting that highly respectable person is itself considered as an act of disrespect, as an act of insult to that supremely respectable and honorable person. In the same way, Bhagavan Shri Vishnu, who is supremely worshipable and supremely honorable, not worshipping him and honoring him is itself an act of disrespect to him. So if one does not worship him and thus disrespects him, then one falls down from his varna and ashrama. Sthanad varnashramad bhrashta santa. And when they fall down from their varnashrama position, they fall adav padanti. They fall from their positions. So this is the effect of not worshipping Vishnu. So the instruction is to always worship, means worship him every day, and never not worship him. Not neglecting his worship every day. That is the instruction. Any questions someone has? Any doubts, comments? Okay. Continuing.
Parasti, a question. So when you say, you just said if you're not worshipping a highly respected person, that itself is an insult.
Not worshipping means if you're not respecting.
If you're not respecting a highly respectable person. So in that context, when you talk about Lord Shiva or Lord Ganesha, they are all highly respected gods, demigods, semigod. You can call them whatever you like, but they are also highly respected. So when you're talking about respecting and worshipping, are they included in that worship?
No, this is only speaking of worshipping Vishnu and respecting Vishnu.
Okay.
It's not talking about other devas.
Okay.
Of course, Lord Shiva and other devas are highly respectable for us. So, when you enter the temple of Shiva, you have to worship. Like if you are forced to go to Shiva's temple by your relatives and your friends, you do not just stand there. You offer worship to Shiva because he is the avatar of Vishnu. Okay. And that's what should be done. So let's continue. Also, we do not respect the other devas as independent from Vishnu. We understand that all the other devas are empowered by Vishnu. They are manifestations of Vishnu or empowered by Vishnu. So when we respect them with this understanding, not as a separate entity. So let's continue. Tat phalam cha tatraiva. The result of worshipping Vishnu is mentioned there itself in the 11th skanda of Srimad Bhagavata, 27th chapter, 49th verse. Evam kriya yoga pathai puman vaidika tantrikai archanubhavata siddhim matto vindantyabhipsitam. Matto vindatyabhipsitam. In this way, a person, a human being, through the paths of Kriya and Yoga, through the path of action, through the path of Yoga, which are the path of Vedas and the path of Tantras. When he worships me in this way, in both these ways, when he worships me through the paths of Kriya and through the paths of Yoga, he attains perfection in both fields. Okay? He attains his desired perfection, desired accomplishment in both areas. What are these both areas? In this world, in the material benefit as well as spiritual benefit you will attain by worshipping Vishnu. So Jiva Goswami comments here, Tat phalam udaharan archanam upalakshya aha evam. So while speaking about the result of worshipping Vishnu, so these varnas and ashramas, when they engage in Vishnu worship, what will happen, what result they will gain is mentioned in this verse. So serving Vishnu bhajanam is indicated by archanam, by the worship of his deity form. So this is the context, 27th chapter of the 11th canto. It is basically speaking about worshipping Shri Vishnu in a murti, as a murti in the temple. So let's see that. Okay. 27. Yeah. Lord Krishna's instructions on the process of deity worship means worship of the Archa Vigraha. So after this instruction of Krishna, how to worship him in the form of the Archa Murti, he says this particular verse, which is 49th verse. Evam kriya yoga patheh puman vedika tantrikai. This is the result. And this deity worship is just an upalakshana, is just an indicator. You can worship him through hearing about him. You can serve him by uttering his names and glorifying him. You can serve him by carrying out his orders and so on, remembering him, thinking of him. Jiva Goswami comments, Taduktam akama sarvakama va ityadi. He gives another supporting reference from Srimad Bhagavata, 2nd skandha, 3rd chapter, 10th verse. Shukadeva tells to Parikshit, Akama sarvakamo va mokshakama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. One should worship the Supreme Person Vishnu with intense bhakti yoga, with strong bhakti, with intense bhakti you should worship Vishnu. Whether you do not want anything from him, whether you want all kinds of things from him, and or whether you want liberation from. You will be a good person, you will be considered a person of broad mind when you worship Vishnu immensely with your resources. So that's what is said here. In the shloka, Sri Krishna says that he attains siddhi, he attains his abhipsita siddhi, he attains his desired aspiration in both this world and the next world. Okay, this is the result of worshipping Krishna. And Vishwanath Chakravarti comments, तस्या भक्तेः फलमुदाहरन् अर्चनमुपलक्ष्य आह उभयतः ऐहिकीं पारलौकिकीं च सिद्धिं. He attains perfection in this material world. Material perfection he attains, whatever he has desired. And he also attains perfection in the other world, in the transcendent world, Paraloka. That is Vaikuntha Loka. He attains whatever he desires there also. Any question someone has? Any doubt? Okay. Then Rupa Goswami proceeds, Pancharatre cha. Also it is said in the Pancharatra, Narada Pancharatra says, Surarshe vihita shastre harimuddishya ya kriya saiva bhaktiriti prokta taya bhakti para bhavet. So Sri Vishnu tells to Narada, O Devarshi, O sage among the gods, Surarshi, whatever, maybe not Vishnu speaking, but someone else is speaking to Narada. So in the Shastra, whatever instruction is found with regards to Vishnu as your object, whatever activity you have to do with reference to Vishnu, all those activities in reference to Vishnu are considered to be bhakti. They are classified as bhakti, and by that bhakti, you will get para bhakti, you will get the supreme bhakti for Vishnu, which is in the form of Krishna prema, Bhagavat prema, that love for Hari. Let's see Jiva Goswami's comment. Samastyena darshayan parama phalamaha panchetu. So in this verse, Rupa Goswami is showing the combined result of bhakti and stating the supreme result of bhakti in that way. Saiva bhaktirityatra vaidhi iti gamyam tat prakarana pathitatva. Saiva bhakti iti prokta. Whatever instruction is found in the Shastra regarding some action about Hari, action in relation with Hari, that is called bhakti. So that is called bhakti. It means it is Vaidhi bhakti, because in this Pancharatra section, it is speaking about Vaidhi bhakti instructions. About one should engage in worshipping Vishnu, in serving Vishnu. So this, because it is a section about instructions of bhakti towards Vishnu, so therefore all these actions are called Vaidhi bhakti. Okay. And by this Vaidhi bhakti, you will get para bhakti, you get the love of Bhagavan. Vishwanath Chakravarti comments, first is same as Jiva Goswami, Samastyena pathitatvat. Samastyena is the first word, pathitatvat is the last word. Taya prema lakshana bhaktir bhavet. So by this Vaidhi bhakti practice, you will gradually attain prema bhakti for Vishnu, love for God, love for Bhagavan Hari. That is para bhakti. Okay. Any questions, any comments or doubts? So then, Sri Rupa Goswami describes who is eligible to engage in bhakti. Tatra adhikari, the one who is eligible to engage in Vaidhi bhakti is as follows. यः केनाप्यति भाग्येन जातश्रद्धोऽस्य सेवने नातिसक्तो न वैराग्य भागस्याम् अधिकार्यसौ. Yah, the one who kena api ati bhagyena, by some undescribable good fortune. So here ati bhagya means by the great fortune of association of great Vaishnava. That extreme fortune is in the form of getting the association of a great devotee of Krishna. So by that, when one develops Shraddha, Jata Shraddha, Shraddha in what? Shraddha in serving Vishnu, serving Krishna. Asya Sevane, in serving Bhagavan, you develop faith in that. Also, some more description of this eligible person is given. Na atisaktaha, not very much attached to the material things in his life, not very much attached to his family and friends and relatives, not very much attached to enjoying his senses. Okay. Na vairagya bhag, and not having complete detachment from the world. Not, yeah, this is very interesting. One who is not fully detached, or he has not developed detachment, he is not detested from the objects of this world. Such a person becomes qualified, eligible, asyam, in this bhakti. He is eligible to engage in Krishna Bhakti. Let me repeat. By some extreme, indescribable good fortune, which is in the form of association with a great Vaishnava, a great devotee of Krishna, when one develops faith in serving Krishna, and also one is not very much attached to the things of this world, and one is also not having detachment from the things of this world, he is qualified to engage in Krishna Bhakti. Jiva Goswami comments, Ati bhagyena mahat sangadi jata samskara visheshena. This great fortune is actually a particular samskar, a particular mental impression which you have in your mind. And this impression is created from association of a great devotee of Krishna and other such things in relation to that devotee. So, by the association of a great devotee of Krishna in some past life, you have developed a particular impression in your mind. That is your great fortune. Ati bhagya. And because of that, you develop faith in serving Krishna. Okay. Vishwanath Chakravarti comments as follows. First part is same as Jiva Goswami. Vairagyamatra bhajana pratikula phalgu vairagyam ityartha. Tena vishaya vasanado vairagyartham yatishyati teva. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says that the word detachment, he is not detached from the world. It means actually vairagyam, bhajana pratikula phalgu vairagya. He does not have the kind of detachment which is unfavorable to serving Krishna. There is a particular type of detachment called phalgu vairagya, which is unfavorable to engage in Krishna Bhakti. Okay? Phalgu Vairagya will be defined later on by Rupa Goswami. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharhamupayunjatah nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate. That is Yukta Vairagya. Phalgu Vairagya is not remembering the shloka about it, but when a person renounces the things related to the service of Sri Hari, thinking them to be material, okay, things that are useful in engaging in bhakti, in worship of Vishnu, if a person thinks them as material and develops detachment from those things and not interested in them, that is called Phalgu Vairagya. So such Phalgu Vairagya is against one's proclivity to serve Vishnu, and therefore a devotee does not have that kind of detachment. So that does not mean that he is not detached from the things of this world for his own enjoyment. So tena vishaya vasanado vairagyartham gatishyati eva. Therefore, the devotee definitely endeavors to develop detachment from the sense objects. One has attraction for various sense objects. Eyes are attracted to beautiful things. Ears are attracted to melodious sounds of the various worldly songs. Skin is attracted to touching very soft things. Tongue is attracted to tasting all kinds of tastes. And so a devotee of Krishna definitely strives to develop detachment, to inculcate detachment from all these objects of the senses. Okay. So that is not the point here. The point is that he is not having detachment in the sense of Phalgu Vairagya. Okay, he is not falsely detached from those objects that are used in the service of Vishnu, like flowers in a garden. Okay. He says, oh, he does not say that, oh, these are very beautiful flowers, I should not be attracted to the beauty of these flowers. No, he says, oh, these are very beautiful flowers, I want to offer them to Vishnu for his satisfaction. Like that. He will not be detached from the beauty of that flowers. He will take those flowers and offer it to Sri Hari. So he is not having Phalgu Vairagya. That is the point Vishwanath Chakravarti makes. Anyone has a question or doubt here? Okay. Next, Sri Rupa Goswami supports this shloka by him with a reference to the Srimad Bhagavata 11th Skandha 20th chapter 8th verse. Yadrichaya mat kathado jata shraddhastu yah puman na nirvinno natisakto bhakti yogosya siddhidah. Yadrichaya, yadricha, it means it just so happened. It just so happened by chance. It is not your own doing. And it is not a planned thing. It is not planned. It just happened. Okay. So yadrichaya, by chance, mat kathado, in my katha and other such things, Krishna is telling to Uddhava, jata shraddha, one has developed shraddha, faith in my katha and other such things related to me, yadrichaya, by chance. Such a person who is not disgusted from this world, na nirvinna, and is also not very much attached to this world. Na atisakta. His engagement in devotion to me, asya bhakti yoga siddhida, becomes the giver of perfection. So his engagement in devotion to me yields the result of prema, of perfection. Okay. So, yadricha, our acharyas who have commented will clarify. Yadricha means by chance. That is what the same sense is indicated by Rupa Goswami in the previous verse. Ati bhagyena, by some great fortune, indescribable fortune. It is actually meaning association of a great devotee of Krishna. And how do you get the association of great devotee of Krishna? The first instance of your association with a great devotee of Krishna is never planned by you. Okay? It happens by chance. Suppose a great devotee of Krishna has come in your neighborhood. Someone has invited him. His disciple, his Shishya has invited him to give some discourse on Kṛṣṇa-Bhakti. And you happen to be there in his neighborhood. So, suppose this devotee comes to invite you. Okay, he is your neighbor. You think that, oh, he will feel bad if I don't go because he has invited me. If I don't go and to the place where he has invited me, he will feel bad that I did not go. So let me go. I'm not going to lose anything. There is no money involved. So let me go and just sit there for some time. And then you hear the katha of this devotee and you are influenced by his words, by his katha of Krishna. And you develop faith in Bhagavata. In due course of time, you develop faith. So it is by chance. You happened to be in the place where this devotee has come, invited by some person, some devotee, and this your neighbor who is a devotee, he invited you to come to that katha. Why did he invite you? Because you happen to be in his neighborhood. Okay. It is not in your karmic chart, basically. You were not destined to be in the association of this great devotee Vaishnava. You just happened to be in that neighborhood of that person, and he invited you to this place because you did not want that person to feel bad for you. You went there, and then you were blessed by the association of this great sadhu. So, first association of a great sadhu always happens by chance. It is not planned by you. It is not planned by also Krishna. Krishna does not wish you to get devotion. Okay? Because if he wished only you to get devotion and not others, he will be partial. He is not partial. He does not have any favorites in this world. It is just luck. Not even luck, it is just pure chance. It is just a chance occurring that you had the opportunity to associate with the great Vaishnava and you were blessed. Okay. So, by that association with the great Vaishnava, you develop faith in Krishna's katha and other such things related with Krishna. So then, when you have this faith, other qualifications are also given. A person who is not disgusted with this world, and he is also not very attached with this world, na atisakta. When you engage in devotion to Krishna in that mindset, your devotion will bear its real fruit. Okay. Does anyone have any questions so far, any doubt? Also, yeah, it is yadricha. Even that devotee of Krishna does not plan that, oh, I will instruct this person of this name in bhakti for Krishna. He does not know that you are living there. He just happens to be invited there and he's given a discourse and you happen to be invited there. It is just a chance occurring. Okay? So it is yadricha. It is actually out of nowhere that you get a chance to associate with a devotee of Krishna. Okay? It is just real luck, pure luck, luck in its real sense. Okay? In the material world, there is no actually luck factor because you only get what you are destined to get. Because somebody became very wealthy not because of his luck, but because of his good karma in the past. Somebody is suffering not because of his bad luck. No, is not suffering because of bad luck, but because of his bad karma in the past. There is actually no real luck in this world except for this factor of association with a great devotee. That is pure luck. Okay? So we should be very happy. And there is no person in this world who is more fortunate than us. We are actually lucky. We are actually lucky people that we have had the opportunity to associate with a great devotee of Krishna, by which we have this faith in Krishna, faith in serving him, faith in bhakti. Okay. So Jiva Goswami comments on this shloka. Yadachaya iti tadetacca vivritam swayam bhagavata. This is described by Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself. The Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th Skandha, 20th chapter, shlokas 27-28. He says, Jata Shraddho Mat Kathasu Nirvinnas Sarva Karmasu Veda Dukkhatmakan Kaman Parityage Pyanishvara Tato Bhajet Mam Pritah Shraddhalur Dridhanishchaya Dushamanascha Tan Kaman Dukkhodar Kamshcha Garhayan. So Shri Krishna himself describes this devotee who is eligible to engage in his bhakti in great detail just after this shloka. So 11:28. So let us see here. So this is 11:28. This is what Rupa Goswami has quoted here in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is what Krishna is telling to Uddhava. And then in the 20th verse, he will say, sorry, where does this come? Jata Shraddho, 27th verse. Here. So there again, Krishna will describe this person in more detail to Uddhava. Jata Shraddho Mat Kathas. A person who has developed faith in my katha and in other things related with me. Nirvinna Sarva Karmasu. He is fed up with all material actions. Veda Dukkhatmakan Kama. He understands, but he still has various desires to enjoy in this world. He has various desires to fulfill in this world. But he understands them as source of suffering. He understands these desires to be sources of misery. But still, he is unable to leave these desires, to abandon these desires. He is not capable to leave them. So then, such a person should lovingly engage in my bhakti faithfully serve me very determinedly. Dridha nishchaya. His nishchaya, his determination to engage in my bhakti should be firm. So while serving me, he also engages in fulfilling his material desires because he is unable to give them up. And while fulfilling his material desires, he criticizes in his mind, I am such a fallen person. I am involved in this worldly affairs. These are very sources of misery and all these things. In his mind, he criticizes himself while engaging in fulfilling them also. So, Jiva Goswami is quoting this part, these two verses in his commentary. And then he says, Atra tatah iti tam avastham arabhya ityarth. So here the word tatah, it is there. It means then. Beginning from that condition. Beginning from that condition. With which condition? When you have faith in Krishna's katha, but when you are unable to give up your worldly desires. So you should engage in bhakti from that point on. So this also speaks about the adhikari qualification, person eligible to engage in Krishna bhakti. Bhaktir hi swatah prabalatvat anya nirapeksha kintu natu jnanadivat samyak vairagyadi sapeksha. What this shows? This shows that bhakti is powerful by herself, by itself. Devotion to Krishna is extremely powerful. Prabala, very powerful. Because bhakti to Krishna is powerful by its own, on its own, it does not depend on any other eligibility, any other condition for a person to be eligible to engage in that. You should just have faith in serving Krishna, just have faith in bhakti to Krishna. Okay? If you have faith in serving Krishna, you can engage in serving Krishna, no matter what other bad qualities you may have. You may be very much attached to the things of this world. Doesn't matter. If you just have faith in Krishna Bhakti, you are eligible to engage in Krishna Bhakti. Because Krishna Bhakti is so powerful, it does not require any other criteria for you to be eligible to engage in it. But for other paths, other spiritual paths like the Jnana Marga, if you want to follow the path of Jnana, like the Advaitavadis, okay, you have to be having proper detachment from the material objects of enjoyment. A person who wants to follow Jnana Marga, he has to be totally detached from the objects of the senses. He has to be a sannyasi. Only when one is a sannyasi, renouncing the objects of sense enjoyment in this world, can he be actually a follower of Jnana Marga. Those who are grihasthas, those who are householders, having a family and children and having various desires to fulfill, they cannot possibly engage in the path of jnana. It's not possible. Only a person who has renounced all his desires can engage, can walk on the path of jnana. Advaitavadis. But because bhakti to Krishna is so powerful, jnana marga, you want to walk on the path of jnana, you need to have faith on this path of jnana. That is not sufficient. Just having faith on the path of knowledge of Advaita Vedanta is not sufficient. You also need to be detached from the objects of your senses. Complete detachment from sense objects is also a criterion necessary to walk on this path of jnana. If you want to follow the path of karma marga, Vedic yajnas and Vedic kriyas, okay, if you want to do the various yajnas and all these things, you need to have faith in them. That is first condition. Yes. That faith is not sufficient. You need to have diksha, upanayanam. Upanayanam is also not sufficient. You need to have some money to get the means, the various ingredients, items necessary to conduct the yajna. Okay. You need to have some wealth with you to gather the items necessary to offer in the yajna. You need to gather various brahmanas to chant various mantras and do the yajna for you. So all these things are also necessary. Then you can do the karma, the Vedic karma. Bhakti, you don't need anything other than faith in bhakti. Because bhakti is powerful by itself. Other paths are not powerful by themselves. They need some added eligibility, added qualification, added support for them to be effective. Bhakti does not need any support from any other thing. Bhakti by herself is extremely powerful. You just need faith in it. That's all. If you have faith in bhakti and engage in bhakti, bhakti will make you qualified and make you purified of all imperfections. Make and bestow all perfection on you. That is the greatness of Krishna Bhakti, great power of Krishna Bhakti. Other paths are weaker. Because they are weak paths, they need some support, additional eligibility. Bhakti is not like that. Bhakti is completely powerful on its own. Then Jiva Goswami says, karma nirvedapeksha tu ananyata siddhyartha eva tasyameva avasthayam pravrittir yukta kintu atma ramascha munaya ityadehi natu tatreva tasya samaptiriti bhava. So here Krishna says in 11:20-27, Nirvinna sarva karmasu. You should be fed up with all worldly actions. So Jiva Goswami explains that this expectation to be fed up of all worldly activities is only for the sake of establishing exclusivity in bhakti. Ananyata siddhyartha eva. For becoming an exclusive devotee of Krishna, for becoming a exalted devotee of Krishna, or yeah. So for becoming a one-pointed devotee of Krishna, you need to have this. Okay? You need to be disinterested. You need to be disinterested in all worldly actions. Only then you can become a focused devotee of Krishna. Okay? It is only for that sake, only for having one pointed focus in devotion to Krishna, that one is expected to have disinterest in all worldly actions. Iti tasyam eva avasthayam pravrittir yukta. So Atma Ramascha Muna Ityadehe Natu Tatreva Tasya Samatiti. This is something like, it is only in that condition that one's engagement is appropriate. But there is another statement in the Srimad Bhagavatam like Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgarantha Apirukrame Purvante Hetukim Bhaktim Mitham Bhuta Guno Hari. Let us see this shloka. One 7:10. Well, I'm sorry. It is. Yeah, it is 1710. Suta Goswami tells to the sages of Naimisharanya, those who are taking pleasure in their self, those who realize their self, these munis, they are detached from all worldly obligations. Still, they engage in uh, causeless devotion to Bhagavan Sri Hari. Such are the qualities of Sri Hari that they are drawn towards Vishnu. They do not have any desires to fulfill. They are free from all obligations in this world. They are totally detached. Still, they are engaging in devotion to Vishnu because he is extremely attractive. Okay, Sri Krishna attracts even those who have had the sakshatkar, who have had the direct experience of Brahman, attributeless feature of Krishna, or those who have realized their own jiva, own self. They are detached from all bodily things. Even they are attracted to Krishna. That shows that Kṛṣṇa-Bhakti and Krishna are highest. Okay. Even liberated people are attracted to him. This shows that Krishna is superior to the condition of liberation. Kṛṣṇa-Bhakti is superior to the condition of liberation. So, in such verses, न तु तत्र एव तस्याः समाप्तिः इति. So one's engagement does not end there. This is the idea. Well, कर्म निर्वेदापेक्षा तस्यामेव अवस्थायां प्रवृत्तिर्युक्ता इति. तस्याम् एव अवस्थायां प्रवृत्तिर्युक्ता किन्तु आत्मारामश्च मुनयुक्त्यादि न तु तत्रैव तस्याः समाप्तिः. Bhakti does not end when you attain detachment from all worldly things. Okay, this is the point he is making here. Even when you are detached from all worldly attractions and you are free of identifying yourself with your body, okay, you no longer misidentify as the body and the things related with the body. Even in that condition, your bhakti will continue. Bhakti to Krishna does not end there. That is the idea. So bhakti starts in the stage when you have faith in Krishna, and focused bhakti starts when you are disinterested in all worldly things, but you are unable to give your worldly desires. Okay? Bhakti can start from there. Focused bhakti can start from there. But it does not mean that when your desires, worldly desires will be gone, when your heart will be purified, you will no longer engage in bhakti. That is not the point. Even when you are free of all worldly desires and you no longer misidentify yourself as the body, you still become attracted to Krishna and engage in his bhakti in that condition also. That is the idea. Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary. यदृच्छया प्रथमस्कन्ध व्याख्यानयुक्तेषु व्याख्यानयुक्त्या यादृच्छिक महत्संगेन मत्कथादौ जाता श्रद्धा इत्यर्थ. The word yadrichaya should be understood according to the commentary in the first skandha of Srimad Bhagavata. Actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti has commented on the entire Srimad Bhagavata. And this shloka, when it comes in the 11th skandha of Srimad Bhagavata, he comments here that according to the comment made in the first skandha of Srimad Bhagavata, according to that logic, yadrichaya means yadrichika mahat sangena, association with a great devotee of Krishna. this association which happens by chance. Yadrichika mahat sangha, this association of great devotee which happens by chance, by pure luck, when one develops faith in my katha and other such things related with me. That's how you should understand it. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavata, it is said, Shraddhamrata Kathayam Me. Shri Krishna says in the 11th Skandha, 19th chapter, 28th verse, 20th verse, Shraddhamrata Kathayam Me Shashvan Madanu Kirtanam. Faith in hearing the ambrosial katha of me, of Krishna. Shashvan Madanu Kirtanam. Always engaging in glorifying me, according to what you have heard about me, you glorify me always. Parinishthāca pūjāyām, you are regularly engaged in worshipping me, fixed in my worship of my deity. Stutibhistavanam and engaged in glorifying me with various stotras and praises. Adarah paricharyaya, having great regard in my service, serving me. Sarvanger abhivandanam, bowing down to me with your entire body. Sashtanga pranam. Mad bhakta puja bhyadika. Understanding that and worshipping my devotee is even greater than worshipping me. Mad bhakta puja bhyadika. Sarva bhuteshu manmati. And seeing me in all living beings, considering my presence within all living beings. And all these various descriptions are given of Krishna is describing the various angas, various limbs of his own bhakti to Uddhava. So there, it is Vishwanath Chakravarti has referred here. Also in the 11th Skandha, 11th chapter, 23rd verse, Shraddhalur mad katha shranvan iti tatra tatra bhakti yogi katha shraddhalur eva adhikari darshita. So, Shraddhalur Mat Katha Shranvan also it appears in the 11th chapter, 11th Skandha. So, Shraddhamrita Kathayam, faith in hearing my katha. Then Shraddhalur Mat Katha Shranvan, a person who has faith and is listening to my katha. It means that in all these descriptions of Bhakti Yoga for Krishna, it is only Katha Shraddhalu. It is only the one who has faith in Krishna Katha, in descriptions of Krishna's Leelas by his great devotees. Only this person is the eligible person to engage in his bhakti. How do you get faith in hearing Krishna Katha? If you are hearing Krishna Katha, you are hearing it from a devotee of Krishna. So, when you hear Krishna Katha from a devotee of Krishna, you develop faith in Krishna and his bhakti. And then you engage in more hearing of Krishna Katha from that devotee. Okay. So, first, what happens is that you develop faith in hearing about Krishna. This is the first thing that happens. Faith in Krishna happens, first factor. The first factor of faith is that you have faith in hearing about Krishna. Then it extends to faith in speaking about Krishna. Then it extends to faith in worshipping Krishna. Then it extends to other things. The first factor of faith is that you develop faith in hearing about Krishna from his devotees, from the Shastras. Okay. So, this is the first thing. And how do you develop faith in hearing about Krishna? You develop faith in hearing about Krishna by hearing about Krishna And how do you hear about Krishna? By hearing from his devotee. So Mahat Sangha, association with the great devotee, hearing about Krishna from the great devotee is the cause of one's faith in hearing about Krishna. Okay. That is the point Vishwanath Chakravarti makes here. And when you develop faith in hearing about Krishna, then you are eligible to engage in all the other items of bhakti to Krishna. Yes, anyone has a doubt or question here? Comment?
Parachi, you talked about knowledge, right? Jnanam and
Yeah.
search for jnanam. And so does that mean we should not study the Upanishads, or there is no point in studying the Upanishads or reading about Brahma Sutras and so on?
Okay, so there the word jnana does not mean shastra jnana, does not mean the knowledge of shastras. The word jnana marga, when it is associated with a particular path called jnana marga.
Okay, jnana marga. Okay, got it.
There means knowing oneself to be one with Brahman.
Okay.
That kind of knowledge, if you want to cultivate, then that is jnana marga. So that is totally against one's inclination to serve Krishna. So one should avoid that, and one should associate with devotees of Krishna who are engaging in his devotion, and they consider themselves as servants and Krishna as their master. Okay. So anyone else has a doubt or question? All right. So let us end here for today's class. We'll continue the next week, Wednesday. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.